So I just got done watching the Acolyte episode 5, and I have to say that this episode was actually pretty good. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought this episode was really good. For the most part, this episode was really good. I really enjoyed everything I was watching, and I finally got my sort of excitement that I was hoping to get in this show, and I got it for the first half of this episode. There is things in this episode that definitely brought it down, and it all comes down to the writing. For me, the writing is one of the weakest things in this show. There's a lot of weak points of the show, but the writing is just, I just don't think the writing's good in this show at all. There's some reveals in here, like we got revealed who the Sith Slipknot guy is, which I'll go into. I have mixed feelings on that. We do have May and OSHA finally meeting up and having the long-needed conversation, and that for me just... yeah, I didn't really think that landed very well either. And there were some other things, so we'll go into it. But first of all, the lightsaber battle I thought was absolutely class. It's probably, for me personally, I think this is some of the best lightsaber dueling fighting that we've seen since the prequels. There was talks before the show came out that there's going to be a huge fight in the Acolyte that's going to be better and bigger than the fight with Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul. I'm assuming this is what they meant, unless there's going to be another one. If there's going to be another big fight that's bigger than this, then I'm down for that. I'm excited for that. But if it is this isn't as good as that fight from Obi-Wan, Maul, and Qui-Gon. But for me, it is probably the second best Star Wars combat lightsaber fighting that we've seen since the prequels. I can't think of another Star Wars project that has had this big of a fight and this much choreography and this long of a fight with Jedi. So yeah, I'd have to really have a big think about it. But I was pretty impressed. I thought it was done really well. I really thought the choreography was really good. There were some really interesting, cool moments, like the Slipknot Sith guy. I'm just going to call him the Slipknot guy for now, because I forget his actual name. We know who he is, and I'll go into that in a second, but the Slipknot guy, he does some really sick moves. He's obviously so powerful. He's almost too powerful. It's a bit like, whoa, this guy's like solid. Like, he's taken on all these Jedi, they're all around him, 360. Like, obviously, in real life, he would have just been killed straight away, because everyone would have just ran in. They would have all used the Force. They would have all ran in and just stabbed the shit out of him with the lightsabers. But, you know, you got to suspend your disbelief. It is Star Wars. There's loads of shit that's happened in Star Wars. It's like, yeah, right. But, I mean, it is what it is. It didn't bother me. I like that he was super powerful because I want to enjoy this character. I want him to be super powerful. If they're going to make a new Sith guy, I want him to be super powerful. I want him to be really dark and messed up. And he does some really fucked up shit in this episode that shows him to be really powerful and really dark. Yeah, so there was one moment where he puts a lightsaber through a Jedi and then pulls another Jedi onto the back of the Jedi that's already skewered and then skewers both of them. That was really cool. I did really like that. He breaks George's neck. I was like, whoa, shit. Like, as if that's happened. It's a little bit too overpowered to do that, but whatever, I liked it. I liked the fact that all the Jedi died. I couldn't believe that all the Jedi died. Literally everyone apart from Sol. Even the young girl, and I can't remember her name. It's so hard to remember these characters' names because I don't feel like we've spent enough time with these characters and got to know them and like them enough to remember their names properly. But the young girl, she's got the white face paint on. The girl from Logan. The Little Jedi, you know what I'm on about if you've seen it. She is badass in this. I thought she was really good. She had some of the best fighting in the whole episode. I loved it where she got her two twin blades and she starts dueling with him. She's doing all these spins and jumping high in the air, and it just felt really well done for me. I really enjoyed it. I couldn't believe that he killed her when he stabs her quickly 3 times through the chest. I was like, no way. As if they killed off her as well. Like, they've killed off everyone. What's going on? But before she gets killed, she does this, like, elbow attack and knocks his helmet off. And then we finally get revealed who the Sith character is. And exactly what I thought it would be. And I think that's the prediction that most people had. There was a few predictions. It was either going to be, that I've heard of anyway, especially from my friends, it was going to be either Coral, who is one of the mothers of OSHA and May, which I didn't believe that at all, or it was going to be this potions guy, and it was the potions guy, and for me, I just wish it wasn't him, even though, when it did get revealed to be him, there was parts of him that I liked, once I seen him being this Sith dark character and not the goofy potions guy, it was weird. There was moments where I was like, oh, I like it, and then there's moments like, I don't know if I like it. I'm in this weird place with him. I don't know if I don't know if he feels right to be a Sith, evil Sith Lord. We need more time with him really to see really how we feel, but it didn't hit the landing for me with the reveal, and that's probably because I just expected it to be him and I didn't want it to be him. But hopefully over the next few episodes we get to a bit more time with him, and we get a bit more like becomes a bit more likable as a villain. But right now I'm in this weird like grey area with him. But anyway, he has a confrontation with Sol. After a really sick fight between him and Sol. I really like Sol. He's probably my favourite character in the whole series so far. He does some really cool... Like, Sol's just... Again, I don't know the actor's name, the Korean guy from Squid Games. By the way, an interesting fact, which I didn't realise till recently. This guy who plays Sol, he had to learn English just for this role, which is dedication, and he's doing a pretty good job, and I think that is just like amazing to know about. But anyway, he's the fight scene between Sol and Slipknot guy, loved it. I thought it was great. There was even a moment where they both lose the lightsabers and they're just beating each other's ass with the fists, and Sol is just getting the better of him at one point. It felt kung fu at one point. It felt like some sort of martial arts film, like the camera work and how Sol was fighting, and he was a bit more like... He just kind of felt like he just knew every move, and he was dodging everything and hitting him in the right times, the right places. It felt really martial arty and really precise. It felt really good. So yeah, I really liked all that. Everything with Sol and the fighting. But yeah, so going into their conversation they had, the Slipknot guy is speaking to Sol, because Sol's almost about to behead him with his lightsaber, and OSHA stops him. I was like, no, for God's sake, I would have loved that if that happened, but then we'd have no villain in the show, so obviously not. But Sol stops, and then he gets confronted by Slipknot guy, and he's like, basically reveals that Sol... He's like, have you forgot your past and forgot who you are and the darkness that's within you? So there's obviously some darkness in Sol's past that he's probably trying to escape from or block out or hide from, or maybe he's dealt with it. We're going to find out what that is in the next few episodes, maybe the next episode. But yeah, I'm interested into seeing that. I feel like it does make Sol's character more in depth, so I'm looking forward to seeing what actually was that. So that's pretty cool. Now, there was some moments in here that I just thought were like really nitpicky ones first before I go into my main problems with it. Certain things in this episode I was like, why do that? So the young girl who has the green lightsabers, who gets killed by Slipknot guy 3 times in the chest. Forget her name. Anyway, when she's fighting May in the cabin, she gets May on the ground and she puts a handcuff on one of her hands, and then she starts going, you are under arrest by the Jedi Council and the High Republic. And I'm like, well, fucking quickly put the other cuff on her then, because she's going to get away. Obviously, that's what's going to happen, and it does, and it did my head in. It's only a little nitpicky thing. They do this shit all the time in films and TV shows. It's like you almost capture the person, but they just get away because some stupid situation like that. And that happened, and that was a bit annoying, because I was like, if you were fighting this May character that you're trying to hunt down, who's been killing all your Jedi friends, and you managed to get her on the ground and almost get her in cuffs, you would fucking cuff her. You wouldn't just put one on and go, by the way, you're being arrested by the High Republic Jedi. Let's just shut up. Just fucking put the other one on her and then deal with that, and then you're done. You're done then. You've got her. But no, that doesn't happen. So that was one little tiny little nitpicky thing. I was like, for God's sake. But for me, mostly the worst part for me was May and OSHA talking. I think it basically confirms as well in this episode through their conversation that they had that May starting that fire is what blew up the mountain and what killed everyone. It seems that way, and I was hoping it wasn't, because it was just too stupid. It was just too stupid for that to be written into the show. Like, what, this little fire blows this whole mountain up and kills every witch within moments. It's too unbelievable. It's too ridiculous that it could have been that, but it seems like this episode confirmed it because of the conversation that May and OSHA had. Oh, that is stupid. If it is that, then that's just really... Again, it comes down to the writing. It's just really poor writing. But the conversation that these two characters have, you know, I kind of wanted more from it. I just felt like it didn't hit the landing for me. It just felt a little bit like frustrating. You know, where they're grabbing hold of each other and they're flipping each other down, and then they say a certain thing, and then the other character grabs the other one and flips her down, they say another thing, and I was like, and then OSHA starts to try and arrest me, and I was like, it just didn't feel right, because OSHA's not been part of the Jedi for however long. She's just like been working on the spaceship, maintaining it and stuff, and now she's with the Jedi again, but she's arresting her sister. It just felt a bit like, really? Okay. I don't know. That whole situation with May and OSHA, I just didn't think it worked for me. It was the weakest point. Anyway, OSHA gets thrown away by May. She gets knocked out once again, which, again, I hate that sort of stuff where you get force pushed or something happens and suddenly they're unconscious. May then goes, gets a lightsaber. She cuts her hair off so she looks like her sister OSHA, and leaves her sister there. Obviously undresses her. She puts on OSHA's clothing. She goes and gets Sol. Sol wakes up and believes that it's May, which was another thing that I kind of felt a little bit like. Obviously, it's played by the same girl, same actress, but they have two different voices. You know, they're both portrayed in different ways. It's still her voice because it's the same actress, but it kind of felt like to me, in reality, just noticed I've got my Hard Rock Hotel band on still. Anyway, it just felt like to me it it wouldn't be that believable. You'd be like, I can tell that you're not OSHA because your voice isn't the same. So it was a little bit like, oh god, what, are we going to just suddenly believe now that May is OSHA? Obviously they look alike, but the voice thing for me felt like, okay, well, is OSHA going to have to pretend and put on the same voice accent as a sister? But how would she even know how she speaks? She hasn't seen her for 16 years or whatever it is. So yeah, it just felt a little bit like not believable to me. But anyway, they leave, they get on the ship, and the little squirrel mole character, Basil, he's like running around and he's got the scent and he's on the ship and he can scent that something's not right, and I'm guessing that's gonna reveal that May is actually not OSHA. But yeah, for the most part, I just thought this episode was great. I really enjoyed it. I'm probably missing a few things. Oh yeah, the Sith guy gets carried away by them bug creatures. I don't know. It felt a little bit stupid because he's just been so good at fighting all his Jedi that all of a sudden these creatures, he can't lightsaber them all. I mean, he does eventually because he comes back. But at first, when he got took away, it felt a little bit, I don't know. It just felt a little bit stupid. But yeah, apart from all that, I would say that this episode was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. It was the best episode that we've had so far. And I just hope that they can somehow keep this sort of quality up. The writing needs to get better. They just need to get better writers. It's a shame, really, because this show could have been absolutely class. But who knows what the next episodes are going to bring. We'll just have to wait and see. So, for me, if I was to give this episode a rating, I would give it a 7 out of 10. So that's my review. I hope you enjoyed this. I know I've probably skipped around and missed some things here in this episode. I'm just trying to go off my memory from when I watched it, which was last night. But yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments, what did you think of this episode? Did you enjoy it? Do you think that this is the best episode? Did you enjoy the lightsaber battle? Do you agree or disagree with me that this is some of the best lightsaber fighting that we've seen since the prequels or not? I'd love to know all your thoughts down below in the comments. Drop me a like if you enjoyed the video and hit subscribe if you're new here and you want to see more videos like this. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you all on the next one.